family of Hunter Couture.
But they could very well be outnumbered by the FAU faithful who have traveled 3 hours to get here from Boca Raton. I'm expecting the FAU crowd to win the noise battle here today.
Gaffney up top for the 7-footer, Vlad Golden. He'll have to be a big factor. The entry pass in for him and a quick strike.
And he starts off very well. You can see Dusty May has all intent of getting the basketball inside. He feels as though that's going to be the weak area for Virginia Tech. And they want to exploit Golden inside against Lynn Kidd.
Barron and Kidd also in that starting lineup along with that outstanding backcourt you were talking about. Stolen away by Martin, leaning in and takes a tumble. He'll be at the line. Fouled by Padula. And the opening seconds here of the championship.
And it's early in this game, and I understand Sean Padula, of course, the competitor that he is, but that's one where you pretty much have to allow Elijah Martin to get that and have that layup, because Sean Padula is so valuable to this team. Picking up a foul within the first minute could be detrimental to his team moving forward. You can't afford to have him getting a second foul in this first half.
Martin makes 75% at the line. Just huge against Texas A&M the other day. 25 points. He had 16 at halftime. And that was his season high. He already had it in 20 minutes against the Aggies.
Yeah, he came out with the right mentality to start that game against Texas A&M. It was Martin that carried them in the first half. Jonell Davis carried them in the second half. And those two guys combined were able to finish off the Aggies.
Now Martin at 25, Davis at 26. Padula hitting 46% beyond the three-point line. That's also true of Couture. Barron on the back down, trying to get a little bit closer. Here's Collins open. He can't connect. He has started every game for Mike Young, but he is not shooting the basketball very well. 7 out of 38.
Yeah, the offense hasn't really caught up for MJ Collins quite yet. As Padula pushes it, you see the speed getting to the rim. Sean Padula taking on 2 or even 3 FAU defenders, but not deterred from getting in attack mode.
Used to working in a crowd, one of Dominic and Bernadette Padula's 9 children. Entry here for Golden. Oh, once again inside for the 7-footer. Off to a quick start.
But even though Virginia Tech starts a taller starting lineup, still Golden at 7 feet is going to have an advantage over anyone he's playing against. And right now, the Owls exploiting that early.
Barron bouncing downstairs. Kidd will take the hit. Lynn Kidd. And the Hokies with an excellent backcourt, no question about that. But he's been their best rebounder and their top scorer. He's averaging 17 and 8.
He has been that, and Lynn Kidd's off to a great start this season. Speaking of to a great start, Sean Padula taking on 3 FAU defenders, going to the left hand and finishing, but on the other end of the floor, you can see the Owls intent on attacking on the interior. They want to get Golden as many opportunities around the rim as possible.
Kidd, excellent foul shooter, 88%. But this is the first one in his 4th year at Virginia Tech after starting out at Clemson. And a guy who doesn't take a high number of shots, but he tends to hit what he does take.
Yeah, extremely efficient on the interior. Going to be a very good matchup between he and Golden, but it's going to be important for Virginia Tech to make Golden have to guard Lynn Kidd, because that's going to be the case on the opposite end. Kidd's going to have to account for Golden every time down the floor.
Gaffney on Padula. Kidd coming out to guard. Davis mishandled it, and it pops free to the Hokies. Padula having a really strong tournament. 18.7 assists against Boise State. 5 for 7 from 3 from Iowa State against Iowa State in that victory.
He made some huge shots down the stretch, especially after Hunter Couture fouled out. Back-to-back big threes for Sean Padula to seal that game.
Golden again. They'll swing it for the corner. The jumper won't drop in for Weatherspoon, but the tip is good.
FAU also is great on the offensive glass, and even though they're undersized on the interior versus this Virginia Tech team, you can see they pursue the basketball whenever it goes up.
Couture beyond the 3. Barron will swing it for Collins. Lynn Kidd with the hook.
That's
yes.
nice. That's nice, Obi. That's where the battle's going to have to be won in this game. It's going to be Kidd and it's going to be Golden. We talked about the backcourt's not open. We know they're going to perform. Which one of these big guys has more of an impact in winning this game?
Weatherspoon put it to the deck. Padula reached in, almost took it away. Now a battle for it. And a tie up. The possessioner will take it to the other end.
Great job by Robbie Barron getting both hands on the basketball and not fouling in that possession. Padula was the initial guy to get in and knock it away. And then at that point, Robbie Barron just locked in on getting hands on that basketball, gets the jump ball possession. And the basketball goes to Virginia Tech.
Now the Hokies missing out on the NCAA tournament last year, going 19-15. They scuffled defensively. That was the area Mike Young said we need to get a lot better there. And they have been so far in the early going this season.
Give J.D. Byers a lot of credit for that. Assistant coach coming in from VCU, who got a big win here earlier today, was on the staff with Mike Rowe.
Davis, that's going to be an offensive foul. Offensive here on FAU, so they give it back to the Hokies. That'll go against Johnny Davis.
And that's what M.J. Collins has done. He hasn't made shots at the clip that Virginia Tech was expecting him to this year, but he has defended, and going up against a strong perimeter player and John L. Davis, M.J. Collins does a great job getting his body in position and takes that offensive foul and picks up the second foul on Davis. And that's a big foul for FAU, losing. It's hard to say their best player. Definitely one of their best players early in this game.
A lot of guys to choose from.
They got a lot of guys to choose from.
Long and Poteet at 6'7" and 6'9" into the game now for the Hokies. Poteet with his first touch. Long lost the handle, got it back. He'll shoot the mid-range, not there. And the Owls want to fly. They committed just 8 turnovers against Texas A&M the other day. They're going to commit one right here.
Great job by Poteet getting three-quarter position and not fouling, coming away with that basketball.
Padula on Martin. Couple of fakes, leaning in, no. Torn away by Golden. So far, the Owls have taken Hunter Couture out of the game in the early going.
Yeah, they know that he's the catalyst for this offense, shooting the three ball, making sure they stay close.
Lorient with the left hand, no. Long with a rebound. Virginia Tech 3-0 all time against FAU. They haven't played in a long time, though, not since 1995. But meeting in the ESPN Events Invitational Championship game today. Poteet gave up the dribble. Tyler Nickel back for Padula in a triple. Greenlee's another guy who can heave up the three. He's 39%. FAU's got a lot of answers. Swing here for Gaffney. Between the legs, the spin, and that's going to go. Acrobatic shot for 2.
And that's really good defense by Hunter Couture. Just great offense by Gaffney, getting into the lane and really just getting a shot on the glass. Soft touch allows it to go in.
Padula on the drive, scoops it up and in.
Probably the biggest misconception about Sean Padula is that he's only a three-point shooter, because he is very crafty around the basket, finishes really well amongst the trees.
He's also an underrated defender.
Yes, he'll get after it, but again, when you've got Hunter Couture beside you and M.J. Collins, you're going to be underrated because those guys are excellent defensively.
Martin behind the back. Shot clock is at 6.
Right on cue. Great defensive stand by Hunter Couture against Martin.
Golden gives it up underneath and did not get it up on top of the rim. Let's see if this is a shot clock. It is a traveling violation. So 13:37 to go here in the first half, and that travel turns it over.
Well, we've got a couple of guards making plays at the rim. Gaffney with the acrobatic finish. And on the other side, Sean Padula going up and under the big fella. Florida Atlantic by 3.
Oh, Reese's Trees, oh Reese's Trees, there's chocolate on your branches and peanut butter in your trunk. That's how all trees should be. I'd like to eat you right now. And a bag of Reese's Trees. Oops.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Experience Kissimmee. Plan your trip to Kissimmee, the big, bold heart of Florida. And when you do get over here to ESPN Wide World of Sports, which is usually a bevy of activity, and it is today with a championship game of the ESPN Events Invitational. FAU up by 3. Let's go back to that last play. Doug Sermons came over and explained what transpired there. We had a couple of different calls.
Well, the confusion was the shot clock is getting low, so this basketball actually does hit the rim. However, when Golden gets the rebound, and this is live ball, so he travels with the basketball at that point. He misses the putback. If Golden makes this putback, it's no shot clock violation. So this would have counted. But then at this point, he travels with the basketball thinking that it's over, so it ends up being a turnover on FAU. Virginia Tech retains the basketball.
It's like he was taking a walk through Epcot, just sauntering along.
Yeah, he thought it was a shot clock violation.
Very understandable.
Thanks to Doug Sermons coming over and explaining that, because I was a little confused as to how they got to a travel.
I think we all were. Here's Couture. Came in averaging 15, but he's averaging about 19 in the tournament. His first triple is off the mark. Second chance. He'll drive the paint with the right hand and 2.
And that's where Hunter Couture has to do more of that. He's an elite level three-point shooter, but also strong enough, physical enough to finish at the rim. Love to see him when he's getting downhill, putting pressure on the defense for more than just his three-point shooting.
Now, he'd like to be a head coach one day, and he's engaged to marry a coach's daughter. Chloe Brooks, guard on the Virginia Tech ACC championship team, the daughter of Kenny Brooks, the Hokies' outstanding women's basketball head coach.
Yeah, when your father-in-law is a Final Four coach, you think when he starts coaching, you think he goes with his father-in-law or he goes with his coach, Mike Young. That's going to be a question for Hunter Couture.
Gaffney in transition. Weatherspoon will launch it. And that was in a cylinder and kicked out. Heavy traffic rebound underneath by Rosado. Giancarlo Rosado, 6'8" junior, has missed the tournament to this point. Big body coming off the bench, who makes about 65% of his shots.
And as if Florida Atlantic didn't need more depth.
Right.
They get him back. Nick Boyd still unavailable to play, who's another rotation player for this FAU team. But when I tell you they are loaded, it is absolutely strength in numbers for these FAU Owls.
Nickel with the foul. His first. Yeah, they returned 14 players, all 5 starters from the Final Four team last year. Not to mention Dusty May, the head coach, who signed a 10-year contract. But as you said a couple of days ago, you're playing college basketball in Boca, and you've gone to the Final Four. Where else do you want to be?
Yeah, there is no higher level. So it's not like you're going to transfer up, because you're not going to transfer pretty much. There's only 3 other teams that played in the Final Four last year. And then you think about where you are, the climate, your living conditions. Boca Raton, come on, man. That's why 14 to 15 players came back, and the only one that didn't was Michael Forrest, who exhausted his eligibility.
Long up top. Trying to get it free, and that's going to be picked up by Greenlee. Greenlee hands off, and in transition can't finish it. And a whistle with 11:57 to go in the first half on Greenlee, his first. And we have a timeout on the court. FAU up by 2 on Virginia Tech as we play for a champion here at Disney World.
Daisy sour cream, every bite gets better. Every dollop, every squeeze, every moment together. Pop it off, pick it up. You can never get enough when you do $2 for Daisy. Good food tastes better with $1 for Daisy. $2, yeah. Everything tastes better with $1 for Daisy.
Here at Disney World at the ESPN Events Invitational, we've got some great basketball coming up on Tuesday. ACC, SEC challenges. Number 10 Miami at number 16 Kentucky at 7:30 Eastern, and then the Tigers in Clemson against number 17 Alabama, and you get all the action on the app as well.
The two elite conferences, in my opinion, over the last 25, 30 years in college basketball. Now in the inaugural ACC-SEC Challenge. This is going to be fun. Looking forward to all the different matchups throughout all of it. More importantly for me, personally, as an ACC guy, looking forward to going back and forth, talking a little trash with my guy Jimmy Dykes through text messaging. Unless the SEC wins, then I won't be reaching out to Jimmy.
In your case, I mean, I think it's been well established. You're in a high league as far as trash talking.
Oh.
Jimmy might get away with it a little bit, you know, like under the radar, and he shouldn't.
He does it with me, though. He absolutely does, but he does it with me.
Jimmy's pretty good.
And what I love most about Jimmy, he responds. When I text him, when I talk my trash, he responds, and he's like, I'm waiting on you next time, CM.
The kid gets that one to go. He's only making 79% of his shots. So as mentioned, if he takes it, he's going to hit it.
You know the rule. You're shooting 80% from the field. You're not getting enough shots. You got to find a way to get the ball in his hands even more.
Tied at 11. Rosado trying to get into the flow offensively. Can't knock that one down. This kid with a rebound, he averages 8 per game. Rex Steiner. Awkward looking shot. In transition, a long one coming off the back of the iron by Martin, who had 26 points in the Final Four against San Diego State. So he can flat fill it.
Yeah, he absolutely can, and he's a guy that once he gets hot, it's hard to cool him off. He got hot early against Texas A&M on Friday. He stayed hot the entire afternoon.
Kidd really wants the ball. Rare miss for him. Picked off by Long, though. Right back to Kidd. And he went 0 for 2. So that's a bit of a headline.
Yeah, that doesn't happen often.
Here's Gaffney up at the logo. And we'll set it up here for the Owls. Shot clock down to 8. Greenlee dumps it downstairs, and very patiently the strike for Rosado.
Greenlee was a starter in game 1 here. Came off the bench on Friday and today, but it does not matter as far as his production is concerned. He continues to make plays for the Owls. Beautiful find there. And it's a young man who made 2 huge threes to win that game versus Texas A&M.
There's the stuff by Kidd. No chance he's going to miss that.
No, 3 straight opportunities. You got to bet on Lynn Kidd making one of those, but that was about as easy as it gets for him.
Sean Padula had been over on the bench for an extended stay. He's getting ready to check back in now for Coach Young.
Yeah, Rex Steiner is doing a very good job coming in, allowing Padula to get some minutes on the bench.
Boy, they're looking for Rosado. They missed him in this tournament. These are the first minutes he's gotten here at Disney World.
But what we're seeing from FAU is similar to what we saw from them on Thursday, where they wanted to attack the painted area.
On the turnover and laid up and in by Greenlee. So FAU extending their lead to 17-13 at about the 9-minute mark.
Got to respect a young man who can go from the starting lineup and come off the bench, but not pout about it, just come in and continue to produce for his team.
Brandon Rex-Steiner getting some minutes. The freshman, his dad Scott is a pro wrestler. That's going to be slammed in by Long high out of the sky to make it 17-15.
Great minutes from Mekhi Long early in this game for Virginia Tech. Offensive rebounding and now going down the lane, finishing with the 2-hand flush.
Glad Golden to check in for the Owls. Here's Gaffney, and that one's going to be off target. And Kidd hauling in a rebound. Brian Greenlee making 39% beyond the 3-point line. Couture. Boy, they're sticking with him. Martin hanging tight, but a guy averaging 15 points a game. Very capable of going off for 25, and he airmailed that one.
Great job defensively by Martin, who gets the top assignment defensively, which is Hunter Couture for the Virginia Tech Hokies.
That one's going to be swished in on the wing. Nothing. nothing but net.
And it's always someone different for FAU. This time it's Weatherspoon. You've seen it be different guys, whether it's Greenlee, whether, of course, it's Martin, it's Davis, whoever it has to be, they have someone to step up at each and every moment for the Owls. This time, it's Greenlee finding himself, forgive me, it's Weatherspoon. There's so many different guys, Obi, we get them confused, but all of them can make plays for the Owls.
With Daisy sour cream, every bite gets better. Every dollop, every squeeze, every moment together. Pop it off, pick it up. You can never get enough when you do a dollar for Daisy. Good food tastes better with a dollar for Daisy. Do a dollar, do a dollar, yeah. Everything tastes better with a dollar for Daisy.
Over the past 2 years, Jersey Mike's fundraiser for Feeding America has been a huge success. Their efforts help provide more than 75 million meals when people needed it most. But there's still work to be done.
Thank you, Claire. This year, we'd like to invite you back to Jersey Mike's for another special weekend. Come in this Saturday and Sunday, where 20% of all sales will be donated to Feeding America, helping families in need.
Together, we always make a difference.
Well, we just had our first made three in a game that figures to have a bunch of them. Given the capabilities of FAU and Virginia Tech, Hokies have yet to make one. 20-15, the Owls in front.
And Hunter Couture here playing in front of family and friends, and I guess I would be included in that mix. Of course, Hunter is marrying into my family. You see my truly little cousin. However, I've been Uncle Corey forever. Chloe Brooks in the middle, daughter of Kenny Brooks, the head women's coach at Virginia Tech. So this is the three of us watching the Virginia Tech matchup versus Iowa in Charlotte a couple weeks ago. So, and I also watched the Final Four with Hunter back when Kenny and the Virginia Tech women went to the Final Four.
Sure, and how you feeling about the new family member? I mean,
love him. But, you know, I am a little offended the fact that he has not introduced me to the rest of his family, though.
really?
You think he's ashamed of me?
It would take a while today, by the way, because it seems like there's 100 of them here. For Hunter Couture, Orlando native, grew up playing on these courts and fields out of Bishop Moore High School.
Amazing that when they first started dating, Chloe would tell me, Hunter doesn't think that you like him.
Banked in by Golden. I wonder what would give him that idea.
I always wanted to do the Bad Boys to Martin Lawrence, Will Smith, with all my girls when they come home with their boyfriends. But I told him, no, just make shots. I'll say good stuff about you on air when you make shots.
It's that simple. Just make shots, kid. And he makes a lot of them. Padula leans into heavy traffic. It comes free. It's going to stay on this end.
You and I had a chance to do Hunter's one of his best games of his career when he played at Florida State 2 seasons ago and made 9 3-point field goals. And I've said great stuff about him ever since that game, by the way.
Well, some of those shots were ridiculous. I mean, a step beyond midcourt, and he was getting fouled, and he was making 4-point plays. It was unbelievable.
He did it all in that game, and they're going to need him to do more of it here in this one if they want to be able to knock off this FAU squad.
Here's Couture, and that's going to be blocked by Golden. The big fella at 7'1" came out of nowhere to swat that one.
And Golden sold completely out. The one thing for certain, he did not want Hunter Couture to get a 3-point field goal off. If Hunter pump fakes this, he's going to have a clear lane.
Wow.
But Golden wanted to make sure he ran him off the line and comes up with a huge block shot on that possession.
A terrific game and a victory over Butler in this tournament. Golden did 19-11. He can play some defense. Hunter Couture pulls up and pops and knocks one down. They're determined to lock him up today, and he only has 4 points early.
Yeah, but he's as tough mentally as you're going to find, and he will not allow himself to be deterred by one play that doesn't go in his favor.
He's a very streaky guy. When he gets hot, look out. Martin coming up 25 against A&M. Greenlee will swing it here for Davis. He can be an electrifying offensive player. That rolls around and out.
And Davis playing with those 2 fouls. So Coach May risking getting him back on the floor. Doesn't want him to sit for 14 minutes of playing time. And game action on that sideline, trying to get him back involved in this game.
Hokies head coach Mike Young says, I know we're going to score. Couture gets hit in the act of shooting a three. Happens a lot for him.
It absolutely, because he can stop on a dime and pull up from three. So we talked about the attention that he gets defensively. And guys are always chasing him off of screens. So his ability to be able to get up in the air quickly forces defenders to run into him. Greenlee not even arguing that call. He know that he provided the contact, and Hunter Couture at the line for three.
His second foul. Couture makes 91%, shooting three. Here's an idea of his relationship with Mike Young, his head coach, how close they are. Couture sets the new school record for threes on Thanksgiving. It's a big deal. Lots of family here. He's an Orlando kid. Wonderful moment. He's walking out of the locker room with the game ball, and Mike Young goes, hey, what are you doing with the ball? And Hunter deadpans, I broke the record, dummy. Mike goes, oh, right. Good. He says it's a privilege and an honor to coach this kid. They've got a great relationship.
They have an unbelievable relationship. And Hunter was actually committed to go to Wofford with Mike Young was the head coach there. When Coach Young got the job at Virginia Tech, Hunter decided to follow him to Blacksburg. And it's been a great match between these two the entire time.
FAU able to do that all day long, though. Stuck by Weatherspoon, who came in 50% beyond the three-point line.
And Weatherspoon probably gets the least amount of headlines of all the different players at FAU. However, Dusty May looks at him really as that true glue guy.
Couture on the back door, stuffs it in. And a quick answer for the Hokies.
I tell you what, we talked a little bit about the conversations that go on the court right now. If I'm Hunter Couture, not that I encourage this, I would have told Golden, block that.
Not much chance. Another one from the corner, and this one no good by Weatherspoon. So one and done. And here's Padula across midcourt. And a three-point game. Hokies with an opportunity to tie.
Nice.
Instead, they're going to cut it to one.
Nice play by Padula, attacking the basket, getting to the rim.
Now the pace of this one heating up. Gaffney outside the three. Golden was calling for the ball. They didn't get it to him. Elijah Martin. Weatherspoon shot clock at 3. He gives it up and picked up by Barron. And now Padula on the bounce feed through traffic, and it'll go the other way. It'll be FAU ball with 3:59 to go in the half. And we've got a timeout. Our championship game, and it's a one-point contest. The Owls on top of the Hokies by 1. Presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Lowe's. Lowe's knows home improvement.
Hey everybody, coming up with the Jeep Halftime Report. Coach Malcolm Dallin here. We got Louisville in a battle. We'll show you highlights of them against New Mexico State. Also, what we learned through Feast Week here. Tight game we got here, Malcolm.
Yeah, right now Virginia Tech 0 threes made, but they're backdoor at Couture and Padula combined for 15 points. They're starting to heat up right now, Coach.
These are two really well-coached offenses. Two teams that play with great spacing, share the ball, and put so much pressure on the defense. Two of the most efficient offenses in college basketball.
All right, we'll see you at halftime. Back to O'Brien and I guess Mike Lowry. Oh, CA was down there.
Yeah, that is it, DC. I wanted to be Mike Lowry so bad. When Hunter Couture comes to the door to pick up Chloe, my cousin Michael Brooks, Kenny's younger brother, we call him Tyke, he would have been Martin Lawrence at the door.
I think you're right. Hunter, by the way, with 9 now. So he's starting to get the hot hand again, as he has throughout this tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, the dunk going back door. But the thing about Hunter, he's so much more than a shooter. Oftentimes I'll look at his stat sheet and see that all of his shots are from around the three-point arc. He's much more of a shooter than just a shooter, and has to be able to exploit this part of his game for Virginia Tech to be successful.
FAU with the basketball, a 1-point lead. Davis on the wing. Weatherspoon puts it to the deck. Shot clock inside 10. Gaffney with a step back, fires it off target. So Virginia Tech can grab the lead here in the championship game. Here's Couture. Got a good look. They make 38% beyond the three-point line. It's a big weapon for the Hokies.
Got a great look. Dusty May right beside Hunter Couture where he got that lead. But that shot, disappointed by his team for giving him that look. Fortunately for Dusty May, Hunter was unable to knock that one down.
Under 3 minutes before the break. Donnell Davis comes in averaging 14 points a game. The backcourt just outstanding for the Owls. Got to get a shot up, though, down to 3. Here's Weatherspoon to loft it up there and can't hit it. So once again, the Hokies can move out in front.
And the Hokies have done it with their defense. They're giving themselves opportunities to stay in with this team by guarding very well.
Long to the paint. Got a good looking shot, but can't hit it.
But he got the look that he wanted. Under control, getting into the painted area, playing off of 2 feet. Just unable to come away with the bucket.
Davis won't wait, and why not when you have that kind of range and that kind of touch?
Yeah, and he's just continued. He had to go to sit down for a while with the 2 fouls, but getting back on the court, continued where he left off on Friday, knocking down 6 of his 9 3-point attempts.
I think he's the most dangerous player on this floor in this championship game. As he showed in the NCAA tournament, had 29 against Farley Dickinson, also had 36 against UAB in a game last year. FAU up on top 28-24.
He absolutely can be, Obi, but what I love most about him is he doesn't force anything. You can remember back on Thanksgiving Day, we watched him in game 1, and it really wasn't a great game for him. He allowed his teammates to get going, but then, of course, when they needed him against Texas A&M on Friday, he showed up big time.
Yeah, he's a big game player. He was 6 for 9 from 3 in that game. Under 2 minutes, Couture catches, fires, no.
Give FAU a lot of credit. They have contested every 3 that Hunter Couture has taken, making it difficult for him to get a clean look outside of the one open one in front of Dusty May.
Gaffney, kind of the forgotten man in their backcourt, but a very steady player. 1:36 to go on the contacts.
Great job by Couture getting his body in position, but as you see Greenlee attacking the basket, watch that forearm. When that right forearm extends, that's going to be an automatic offensive foul. Great job by Hunter Couture beating him to the baseline and taking away that possession.
Sean Padula, the junior from Edmond, Oklahoma. He'll drive it hard, stripped and knocked away by Davis, so the Hokies will retain possession. Padula, heavy minutes last year, 36 minutes a game. Mike Young said after the season, we asked him to do a little too much as a sophomore.
Rex Steiner now, I believe, can spell Sean Padula for minutes. Gave him good minutes here in this first half. Allowed Sean to be able to sit on the bench for about 4 minutes. But please believe it's going to be heavy minutes once again this year.
Nickel off for Couture. Good look. He's had some shots he would normally make.
He really has. He's had a number of very good looks. But I'm more... Oh, that can't happen.
Oh, yes! That lane just opened up.
But 2 defenders, because of Davis's ability to shoot the 3, go with Johnell Davis, leaving that middle wide open. Great play by Elijah Martin, recognizing that, not giving up the basketball.
Padula, no, off the window. 1 and done. Davis to push the tempo up for Golden. What a fast strike that was.
I'm not sure if I'm more impressed with the pass or the 7-footer picking that up off the deck and being able to turn and finish it in transition.
Yeah, pretty darn athletic. So 32-24. Hokies had a couple of chances to take the lead. Here come the Owls flying to the other end. Kidd backing down off balance, flips it up there. And it's going to be a violation.
Well, we talked about this game could possibly come down with all these great backcourts to the big man, the post play, Lynn Kidd and Vlad Golden. And on that possession, offensively and defensively, it was Vlad Golden that got the advantage. That is unbelievable timing and hands for the big fella at 7'1" to be able to catch that in transition and lay it off the glass.
Well, the Owls to hold for the last shot here. After the traveling violation, gets them the basketball back, 32-24, 7-0 run. And a whistle with 5.7. The foul on Couture will be his first. So FAU with the basketball and an opportunity to have a double-digit lead when we go to the locker rooms at halftime. FAU coach's box warning there. Dusty May.
Well, it was a little bit of a conversation on the sideline. Mike Young trying to help Elijah Martin up off the floor.
We will take the break. Under 6 seconds, 32-24 FAU. Wednesday, another two featured ACC SEC challenges coming to you on ESPN. Number 7 Tennessee at Chapel Hill against number 14 North Carolina at 7:15 Eastern, and number 9 Duke taking on number 20 Arkansas. The ESPN app will have all the action as well.
Rick Barnes returning to Chapel Hill, where he once challenged Dean Smith. I wouldn't even say once, multiple times challenged Dean Smith. Bad blood between the Carolina faithful and Rick Barnes. I'm sure it's going to be an exciting event there on Wednesday night.
I'm sure they're going to remember.
They're absolutely going to remember that. Got a good look for Carroll coming off the timeout to end the half. FAU, they absolutely win that battle. Hunter Couture, Sean Padula have played a lot of minutes here in Orlando.
I don't know how this one's going to turn out. FAU with the upper hand right now, but I think people around the country are beginning to realize FAU is for real. I know they have one tough loss this season, but they're number 19 coming in, and they are stocked.
I believe when it's all said and done, that loss is going to be a blessing in disguise as Jonell Davis finds the corner three and is able to knock it down using every part of the rim. But I believe that loss to Bryant is going to be a blessing in disguise. I think that allowed Dusty May to get his team's attention. When you go to the Final Four, not that I've ever been there, only as a spectator, but when you go to the Final Four, you think that you're pretty good, which you absolutely are.
Golden again with another denial. Stuffed that right back at Collins. Had a couple of big blocks, but they give it right back. Very quickly to the other end. On the leaner, and that won't drop. Golden's there for the board. Witherspoon for the big man. Owls come at you with a lot of weapons. They weren't shooting it particularly well coming in. You mentioned a Bryant defeat. That's going to be a turnover.
And that's going to be 3 on Davis. Offensive foul.
3 on John Ellis. That's an early second half theme.
And remember, we lost him early in the first half. No, Coach May did get him back into the game to end the first half to get him some type of rhythm going for the second half. But just over a minute played here in the second half. Davis will go to the bench with that third foul.
It's a guy good enough to have tested the NBA waters in the draft process, and like Elijah Martin, he returned to FAU. Very explosive scorer, but on the bench right now.
And this is where Virginia Tech has to try to make a run when you've got Davis on the bench. Not that FAU doesn't come back with another strong performer, but they're not the preseason player of the year. Sean Padula getting in the middle, unable to knock it down.
One and done. Martin with the rebound. He's going to drive that paint. Such a strong guard in and out. He is a handful to try and cover defensively. Padula averaging 17.6 assists. Occasionally he's going to turn it over, though, and he reaches to commit the foul.
It's a small thing, but Hunter Couture stopping short on that possession has to run through the basketball, because if he continues to run through that pass, he's going to get hit and foul, which he has no problem. But you see him stop, which allows the defender to get into the passing lane and come up with that basketball. A turnover for Padula. Now 8 turnovers for Virginia Tech, which is uncharacteristic. 9 for FAU, uncharacteristic as well. Neither of these teams have handled the basketball great here this afternoon.
Hokies at 5-1 coming in. FAU ranked number 19. Started the year ranked number 10. That's on target. On the wing by Martin.
And when I said that those other guys aren't the preseason player of the year, I was wrong, because Elijah Martin, who tied with the number of votes for American Athletic Conference Player of the Year with his teammate, is now coming up with a rebound and pushing it in transition.
Martin again. He'll kick for the open shooter, and that is way off the mark. Lorient missed badly, but they'll get the second effort. Golden in close.
Offensive rebounding. FAU flexed their muscles on the offensive glass in the opening round win over Butler. And they're doing the same here against Virginia Tech, a 15-0 run for the Owls, and they have used a three-point weapon to build this lead. John L. Davis knocking it down. Elijah Martin. These guys share AAC preseason Player of the Year.
Greatest of all time. Look, bet I go down as one of the GOATs, the greatest of all time. These hits ain't nothing to mess with. I come through damage. I gon' need a ham on the block. Lisa Laz with the shot. Mr. Mamba with the rock. The greatest of all time.
Rated E for everyone.
PlayStation.
Foul time. We showed up. Let's show out.
3, 2, 1.
Game time. Come on.
Get low, then pick up. Get your hands in the air. It's a stick up. Shake your tambourines, moving quicker. Yeah, I'm shaking down the town. Get the picture.
I got you, baby.
Moving on the floor, gotta love that. How she keep it going on, gotta love that. To the beat like a pro, know you love that. Shake it to the flow. Gotta love that.
Coming up right after the championship on ESPN, NCAA Wrestling. It's number 4 Iowa taking on Iowa State in the Cy-Hawk duel. That's a very, very famous one. It'll be the regular season college wrestling meet to air on ESPN in the company's 44-year history. The action starting at 3 o'clock Eastern on ESPN and the app.
I like Cy-Hawk. A cyclone, a Hawkeye combined. I tell you what, I'm not sure what it would look like, but it would absolutely be devastating to anything in its way.
Those two programs just off the charts historically, of course. Well, here FAU had a 25-24 lead with 4:39 to go in the first half. Since then, it has been entirely FAU outscoring the Hokies 15-0.
And at that point in the first half, we were talking about Virginia Tech getting over the hump. Hunter Couture had a number of good looks from beyond the three-point arc, unable to knock them down.
Going to be a whistle here. Doug Sermon's pointing. He's got himself a foul. And that's going to go against Couture. And number 2 on Hunter Couture. And a second team foul.
And another turnover as Couture
leaning in. Martin. The follow is up and good by Jalen Gaffney.
Tell you what, it's a physical matchup going on right now between Elijah Martin and Hunter Couture. These two guys are going at it. Two elite level competitors, both strong in their own right and physical.
The Owls have the Hokies in a danger zone right now. 17-0 run. Couture can't answer.
And Hunter Couture understands how important it is for him to be able to help his team put points on the board. Rush that shot a little bit.
Gaffney. Hands off, way downtown. Weatherspoon, no. Big fight for the rebound and hauled in by the Hokies. FAU continues to get balanced. 7 different players have scored. Big reason they're in the championship game and they're going to be so tough to beat. Kidd on the baseline, no. The second effort not there.
But everything has just been difficult for Virginia Tech. Even offensive rebound and what should be an easy putback.
Golden, oh man. They got it to him in a hurry. He just won't miss it in there. Boy, that took the blink of an eye, and all of a sudden, FAU's up by 20.
Yeah, and it's been crisp passing on the interior, but everyone getting involved in the mix. It's not just Martin and Davis. Golden has been spectacular.
Kidd will finally end that with a stop.
The first basket of the second half for Virginia Tech, with almost 4 minutes being played in game action.
FAU typically a team that does not turn the ball over a lot. Whistle. That'll go the other way. FAU committed just 8 of them against Texas A&M the other day. Lorient will pick up the foul for the Owls. 15:51 to go. FAU 44. Virginia Tech 26. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Lowe's. Lowe's knows home improvement.
It's been a strong start to the second half for Florida Atlantic, and they've gotten production from so many different guys. Johnell Davis able to knock down the corner three. Elijah Martin moves it up to the wing, but it's really been about Vlad Golden, who has been spectacular on the interior. Not just off of offensive rebounds, but also beautiful finds from his teammate. 12 assists for FAU right now. Golden 6 of 6 from the field, and he has been a presence for the Owls on the inside.
Meanwhile, the Hokies unable to make their threes, not hitting any shots really in the second half. 1 for 8. But their season low for three-pointers made last year in a game was 3. They're 0 for 9 beyond the arc today.
And this is a team, Obi, that relies on that three-pointer. They have to have it to an extent. Sean Padula able to attack and get downhill. But you're not going to come back in this game by making twos, because it's going to be extremely difficult to stop FAU on this end of the floor.
Rosado at the high post, handing off here for Greenlee. Jalen Gaffney at 14 against Butler. He can be a factor offensively. Shot clock down to 3. Lorient gives it off for Gaffney, and that's around and out. Took it right down to the nub. So can Padula lead a comeback here? Reach in and a foul on Rosado, 6'8" junior. So they get Weatherspoon for that foul. Number 1 on Weatherspoon. 14:51 to go. And Padula to get it in. Padula off the fake with a two-point try. Got it. And a whistle as well.
Now, this can help when you get the three-point play the old-fashioned way. That absolutely allows you to be able to get back. One, because you get a chance to put points on the board with the bucket and the free throw, but also gives you an opportunity to be able to set up some type of full-court pressure to see if you can get a turnover. So Sean Padula, back-to-back buckets, attacking the rim. This time an opportunity to get 3 the hard way.
Fouled by Brennan Lorient, the 6'9" sophomore. So Padula to the line. Trying to finish off a three-point play.
And right now, Mike Young electing to just get back and play solid half-court defense. Because his guys have played so many minutes, it would be difficult to pick that pressure up still with 14:38 remaining in this game.
Davis back in. On the drive, the scoop. Nice spin.
He's one of those guys you just can't speed him up, Obi. He's going to go at his pace regardless as to what the defense does.
He opened up the second half with a 3. That really got them off to the races. And they piled up a 20-point lead. Padula again. He's denied. Padula going in amongst the trees. 46-31 FAU. And here comes another big in Vlad Golden.
And Sean Padula, who's had success going to the basket on the last 2 possessions, attacks once again.
Rosado, although he's been out for the entire tournament until this one, looks like he's gotten right into the flow.
Yeah, and you have to also remember FAU playing without Nick Boyd, another one of their rotation members. So Carroll did a great job getting Giancarlo's minutes early in this tournament.
Boyd to guard Golden rolling in. Will kick it out. He threw it away.
Well, you got to understand Golden on that possession. He's got 2 great shooters over there. So he was kind of in between as far as who he throws the basketball to, and threw it right between both of them, right out of bounds.
You make a really good point about the Owls and their depth. Boyd is out. That's 11 points a game. Yeah. Also a really good passer and a guy who can fill it up. They just got Rosado back. That's 9 points a game. Pulling his way inside and up and in for 2. Poteet, 6'9" senior, will be heading to the line.
13 You make this free throw, you get it down to 12. It's manageable. You start to chip away if you're Virginia Tech. Continue to try to find stops on the defensive end of the floor. And the three hasn't been working, so they've done a great job of attacking the basket here as of late. This time, Elijah Petit gets into the body of Vlad Golden and is able to finish through the contact.
Golden picks up the personal. Oftentimes in games like this, when one team races out against the other team that shoots the three very effectively, it gives that team just enough of a break, a little bit of a pause to collect the three-point game and start to hit. All it takes is one.
And what I love right now is game action is going on.
Oh, what a tough angle. Greenlee hits it. He'll be at the line.
And Mike Young never saw what happened on that last possession. He'll see it on the replay as Greenlee takes Rexshire to the rim and is able to finish. But that entire possession, Mike Young had his back to the court, having a full-on conversation with Sean Padula. And again, Coach Young using this as a teaching moment. Gets Padula right back into the game, but whatever he had to talk to him about, it was that important to where he wasn't even concerned about what was going on the floor. He's concerned about what happens for the remainder of this season.
Petit trying to spin around. Martin knocked it out of play. FAU wanted the ball back, but it's off them. And Brandon Weatherspoon, the guard, the senior, back on for the Owls. Mike Young in his 5th year. His team predicted finish 9th in the ACC this year.
I love the fact that Mike Young is at Virginia Tech. His dream job as he grew up in Bradford, Virginia, watching the Hokies play as a young guy. Now the man in charge there has done a great job. ACC tournament champions 2 seasons ago.
Davis on Padula, trying to get inside the painted area.
Great job defensively by Padula, standing his ground on that possession.
And not touched. So out it goes. 49-35. The FAU faithful hates the call. They're up in arms on that side of the floor. Back over to the Hokies it goes. Can Couture start to really get rolling?
He got a mid-range to go down earlier, but he's had so much attention paid to him when he gets the basketball in his hands.
Quick step, wraparound pass comes out to Couture for the triple.
Got another great look.
He did. Loose and scooped up by Weatherspoon. Here's Martin. Martin, long range. Got it. He is a big shot maker. 52-35.
But just like that, Virginia Tech has something going in their favor. If Couture knocked that one down, it's a 12-point game. Unable to get it to go on the other end of the floor. Martin knocks it down and the lead balloons to 17.
Slapped away by Golden. They're going to get him for the foul. The 7'1" junior from Russia commits the personal. Number 2. Back to that Martin triple.
So many different guys that Dusty May has to rely on. Elijah Martin able to step up and knock down a 3 to slow the momentum of the Hokies.
Hokie fans looking for a comeback here, and it's an exciting lineup for women's hoops on Thursday on ESPN. First up, number 1 South Carolina and number 18 North Carolina Chapel Hill. That's at 7. Then number 9 Virginia Tech taking on number 7 LSU. Things are pretty interesting around LSU right now. That's in Baton Rouge at 9 o'clock.
And you'll be on the call for that game, but I'll be locked in Thursday night. My 2 favorite women's college basketball coaches in the country. I got to really say my 2 favorite college basketball coaches. When you think about Dawn Staley, and then, of course, my big brother/cousin Kenny Brooks at Virginia Tech, which is a game where you will be on the call, a rematch of a Final Four a season ago.
Looking forward to that very much in Baton Rouge. Following the saga going on there, we have 10 on the shot clock. 52-35 FAU. Couture hands off for Padula. Got to get a shot in the air here way downtown, and it's short. Weatherspoon from the wing. Can't hit it. Tipped up by Golden. He's had a really strong game.
I would go with perfect. He's perfect from the floor still as Golden as he taps that one in. Now 7 of 7. Tyler Nichols able to get to the paint and knock down the mid-range jumper.
Virginia Tech still without a three-pointer made, 0 for 10. And on the scoop shot, that's going to roll in. Davis getting back on the floor.
Davis is just crafty around the basket. You see him, his ability to finish around the rim. You see him knock down the three. But I love the fact that he doesn't concern himself with his own numbers. It's all about the team success, and you see that up and down this FAU lineup.
Poteen on the back down. Some contact. They'll get Golden. He'll pick up another foul. A 10:46 showing. Back to the Davis bucket moments ago.
Johnell Davis got the 2 fouls early. Had to sit a lot of the first half. Picked up a 3rd foul early in the second half. But he has never come back in saying, I got to get mine. It's all about the team success and winning the basketball game. And I believe that that's what Dusty May sees from his team. And I think that's what Bryant did for them. I think it was that wake-up call necessary for these guys to understand 14 of 15 guys returned from a Final Four team, and knowing that we did this together, it wasn't one person or 2 people that did it. We did it together, and right now they have done this together as well.
That not so subtle reminder that on any given day, any given night, you can lose to anybody.
Especially when you're a Final Four team the year before. You go out there and it's a big game for your opponent.
Oh, yeah.
No matter where you go or who comes to you, it's a huge game to be able to say we beat a Final Four team from a year ago.
Bryant's been blown out a couple of times since then. I think they're 3 and 4 right now, but that made their season. Look at the balance scoring. Davis, Martin, Golden, Gaffney, Greenlee in the ESPN Events Invitational.
And we did it. The fact that Nick Boyd hasn't played, another double-figure scorer, has not even played in this tournament. So they've got firepower that hasn't even been a part of these 3 games.
Well, Dusty May's talked about it throughout this Thanksgiving weekend, how proud he is. He's lost a couple of guys. Got one of them back in Rosado today, and he's made a big difference. But they've been able to win games without them.
But to be able to coach up this level of talent and have everyone play together is a testament to what Dusty May has done for this program.
On the drive, using the glass, Jalen Gaffney, the transfer from UConn. Back up to 58-39. Padula on the other end, can't finish that.
Padula went to the basket looking for contact and won the foul in comparison to concentrating on making that shot.
Davis again will take it to the paint and zip it out. Martin. Davis from the corner. Nickel with an off-balance rebound to keep it alive, but under 10. And the Hokies, it is straight uphill right now because FAU has played so well. And it really worn them down. They've done that to everybody in the tournament. Here's Collins. Rebounded by Davis. Gaffney tried to save it, but the Hokies will have the basketball, trailing 58-39 in the championship game.
And this has really been about the Hokies' inability to be able to make threes in this game. And that's what it's boiled down to. Virginia Tech 0 for 11 from beyond the arc. Of course, you don't expect for them to make all 11, but at least 33% of those shots. If you give them 3, even 4 made three-point field goals, you're talking about a different game here.
Padula catches, fires, in and out. So nothing beyond that arc is falling. They are now 0 for 12.
And those are shots that Sean Padula normally makes. He just looks over and shakes his head about the fact that there seems to be a lid on the basket from beyond that arc.
Well, you and I have done a lot of their games in the ACC the last few years. This is a good shooting team. But today, they are facing an Owl team that making their shots, and Hokies are cold. And they stay hot. The Owls do. Greenlee will knock it back.
Right on cue. You bring it up. The Owls have made their shots, and the Hokies have not. And the Owls have gotten production from so many different guys here this afternoon.
Padula trying to keep it downstairs and tipped out by FAU. 61-39. The Owls had 91 against Butler, had 96 against Texas A&M. To me, that was the shocker of the tournament. That A&M team is a really stout defensive team.
They absolutely are, but we also have to remember the A&M team lost Henry Coleman II at the end of the third, at the end of that first half.
That was huge.
And Tyrese Radford didn't have much of an impact in the second half of that game either. So Texas A&M would not go away.
Davis kept it alive and lays it in. Yeah, you're right. He's never in a hurry.
No, you're not speeding this guy up. I mean, again, when you think about, you mentioned the numbers, 28, 36 in the NCAA tournament. Once you've done that, everything else just seems to go a little bit slower for you when you step out onto the court.
The Owls moving toward a title here at the ESPN Events Invitational, the championship game.
With Duracell, holiday magic comes easy. Enjoy it while it lasts. Because in the blink of an eye, they become moody teenagers.
I was supposed to be spending Christmas at Jason's. His parents are actually cool.
You only get a few magical holidays. Don't risk them to save a few cents. Trust Duracell.
Check it out. With HubSpot's new Sales Hub tools, we're crushing our targets.
Q4 is going to be a big deal.
This just in. Q4 is massive.
It's called the Q4.
Happy Q4th, bro.
Happy Q4th. When your life's calling becomes your livelihood, agents who are realtors are here for it. Here with market expertise, we put to work for you. Here for it all because that's who we are.
I don't know, take a pick. There's so many Owls to choose from to feature, but John L. Davis, let's start with John L.
Yeah, John L. got in foul trouble in the first half, got in foul trouble early in the second half, but when he's been in the game, it has not deterred his production at all. Been in attack mode, getting around the rim and finishing, also knocking down the three. John L. Davis showing the star power here at the ESPN Events Invitation.
Great smile, too. 12 points, 5 for 8, 7 rebounds. Came in hitting 50% of his threes. He was named the Conference USA 6th Man of the Year last year. Junior going to have a big year this year if he stays healthy, it looks like.
Florida Atlantic, one of 5 of the 350-plus Division I schools that had no one transfer out of their program. I mean, that just speaks to it. You and I talk about it. You live in Boca Raton. You went to the Final Four. What else can you ask for?
I mean, where are you going?
Yeah, where would you go that puts you in a better situation?
I mean, you're sitting there in the dorm thinking, yeah, can I improve? No, I don't think I can. Here's Gaffney straight on. Yep. They keep pouring them on. And they've turned this one into a blowout, 66-39.
8 of 20 from beyond the three-point arc. 40% for FAU. Where Virginia Tech is yet to make a three, and then another turnover.
Martin way downtown.
Why not, sir? Why not?
Goodness.
And again, there are many people at home watching this that would say, wow, what's going on with Virginia Tech? Let me tell you, FAU is this good. This is not about Virginia Tech. This is about Florida Atlantic University and how good they are as a team, how good Dusty May is as a coach. Of course, Virginia Tech hasn't helped themselves by not being able to make threes. But this is the third game in 4 days for guys that have played a lot of minutes. On the other side, their guys haven't had to play as many minutes because they have so much talent up and down their roster.
Another long run for the Owls, 15-0, 71-39, and their crowd, as you mentioned, a little less than 3-hour drive to get here. They've loved every second. Here's Couture, and they're 0 for 14 from three-point land. You have to go back to February of 03, the last time they did not hit one. Still got plenty of time to get it done today, but as far as the game is concerned, FAU has put the hammer down.
If I'm not mistaken, Obi, I believe that is before Seth Greenberg even took over at Virginia Tech. 2003, I don't think Coach Greenberg was even the coach there then. I can remember when Seth Greenberg got the job, he and I played in a golf tournament together. And I believe that was probably 04, 05 when that happened.
So this was February 1 of 2003. Virginia Tech at Providence went 0 for 10 from the three-point line and 0 for 14 here today in the championship game of the ESPN Events Invitational.
You know, coach is in studio right now. That was actually Ricky Stokes as the head coach back then. Yes, that was before Seth Greenberg took over at Virginia Tech. So I knew that had to be a long time ago when they played a game that did not make a three.
Weatherspoon gives it up for Martin. Martin on the drive and draws the foul. Elijah Martin will be headed to the line. 71-41. FAU really took a stranglehold on this thing in the opening moments of the second half and just ran away and hid over the last 5 minutes. And about to wear the crown of the champion of the ESPN Events Invitational here. The field came in with 8 teams, 6 of which had made the NCAA tournament last year. FAU went to the Final Four. Many were shocked, surprised, whatever. It certainly had a fairy tale feel about it, but nobody is thinking that way about the Owls and Dusty May's team this year. They know how good they are, or at least better know how good they are.
Yes, they do. I think the whole world knows how good they are. If they didn't recognize it last year, they know it now. And Dusty May had a number of opportunities to leave FAU after making a Final Four run last year. I'm quite sure there were many athletic directors out after suiting his services, but he knew what he had coming back. Signing a 10-year extension to stay in Boca Raton. And again, I can't blame him. When you know you've got a team like this coming back, enjoy that success, my man. This is a difficult job to have when you think about being a head coach in college basketball. And when you've got this type of talent and, more importantly, these personalities that are willing to play together for the common good of the team, you want to stick around and be a part of that.
I think you really sense that with guys like Elijah Martin and John L. Davis and Vlad Golden, the 7'1" junior from Russia. I mean, along with a lot of other guys, great depth on the team, but those stars who have the ability to be the man in a lot of places, the man. They're one of several guys on this roster. That's going to be an air ball and another one that misfires from three-point land. It's just been that kind of day for the Hokies. Unable to hit one, 0 for 15. 2 seconds on the shot clock. So the Hokies to put it in. Meanwhile, FAU 9 for 21 beyond the three-point line. And they're going to mop up a wet spot. These two schools had not met since 1995. Virginia Tech won the first 3 meetings. And trying to get in, barely. Over the top for Nickel and picked off. Lorient comes away and he'll slam it down. Even more emphasis for the Owls. They have had some spectacular championship games.
And here lies the problem for FAU. You would say, let's go to the bench. But their reserves are another starting 5. It's not like they can say, okay, we're just going to put a group of guys in there that aren't part of our rotation, because everybody on the team is part of the rotation.
Collins with a travel, and he goes down in some pain. MJ Collins hits the deck. He's kind of grabbing at that knee.
You hate to see that, especially at this point of the game. MJ Collins, such a huge part.
Yeah, sophomore who has started every game. And he is in agony right now, 4:29 to go. You certainly hate to see that in a game that has essentially been decided some time ago. And the sophomore going down, committing a traveling violation.
Good to see him up. Moving on his own. Want to see him stand up. And Collins, the only starter on the floor for Virginia Tech. And Mike Young doing that, trying to allow him to get some type of offensive rhythm going. Great to see him walking off the floor under his own power.
But in a lot of pain. So MJ Collins to the bench. And the concern, obviously, the right knee with about 4.5 to go.
How about Hunter Couture, the senior leader, over checking on MJ Collins, who Hunter has taken MJ on as a little brother this year. Those two guys go at it in practice, but he's taken it upon himself to be a mentor to MJ Collins in his sophomore year. And you can see his concern sitting over with his teammate, trying to make sure everything is okay.
Hunter wants to be a coach when his career is over, and you can see the characteristics right there. He's tapped out. He'll stay on this end with 4:16 left.
And for anyone who understands when the career is over, Hunter wants to play professional basketball first before he becomes a coach. That is for certain. So he will definitely try to make that happen as long as possible.
Carroll underneath and draws the foul. He'll be headed to the line. So as you mentioned, even the reserves are chipping in. The guys who don't play a lot of minutes, but where do you stop with the Owls as far as the depth goes?
But, you know, we talk about the reserves. Trey Carroll was great for the Owls on Thanksgiving Day against Butler. He was really one of the guys off the bench who got a lot more minutes because of injury. And he stepped up and made a number of great plays for them. And you see the skill level that he possesses, a guy that doesn't get many minutes in the normal rotation.
Yeah, they go 10, 11 deep. So it'll be a very happy drive back for the Owls fans. Those 3 hours on the highway on this Sunday afternoon in Florida. They're going to celebrate a title, winning in state, the ESPN Events Invitational here at State Farm Fieldhouse. Carroll kicks it back out. Greenlee taking on Young. Bounce speed in heavy traffic. It won't drop for Lorient. Remember, Iowa and Iowa State. When you talk wrestling, that's where you start. That begins on ESPN2 at 3 p.m. Eastern Time.
There it is.
There's the first three of the day for Virginia Tech. And finally, they get into the three-point column. 1 for 16.
And the 20-plus year streak continues.
I guess there's something to that. At least it didn't end today.
There absolutely is something to that.
But in a championship game where you're getting knocked all over the place, it's small consolation. There's a turn and shot by Gaffney, but no.
It's small consolation, but I will say this, OB. I would rather come to this tournament and finish 2-1 losing in the championship game to a very good team, a top 20 ranked team, than losing one of the games prior.
Oh, no question.
And not making to the championship game. So when you look at it, this will not go down as a bad loss for Virginia Tech when it's all said and done, simply because they're playing against a great team in FAU. I'll take my chances making it to the championship anytime.
78-44 FAU. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by ESPN Wide World of Sports Complex, the premier site for youth sports. See our upcoming events at DisneySports.com.
Dallin Cup, the studio update over on ESPN2 now. If you're looking for the Cy-Hawk duel, it is about to start. That is David Carr, four-time Big 12 champ, former national champ in his weight class at the time. Starting on E2, that'll then be on E1 once we are done down in Orlando. Let's get back to the world's happiest place, OB and CA.
Certainly is for FAU right now. That's true, Dallas. 78-44. Very, very happy with the proceedings. And 9 different Owls have gotten into the scoring column.
And when you think about what the Owls do, that is their game plan for everyone to get involved in the mix, everyone to contribute, whether you're a starter or you're coming off the bench. And Dusty May expects production from each and every guy that steps on the floor.
Long with a give, Poteet will take the hit and go to the line. Elijah Poteet, big 6'9" senior from Reidsville, North Carolina. He came to Blacksburg a couple of years ago when he transferred from Rice University. Makes it 78-46 with 2.5 left. Yeah, looking for a three-point play. Can't get that done. Jalen Gaffney looking to use the screen.
Gaffney, who started this game, started the last two games, as well as Carroll on the floor still. And again, if you're Dusty May, who else do you put in? I mean, these guys are rotation guys, but you don't have a lot of guys to clear the bench with because you use so many players in your rotation.
Camden beyond the three-point line. Yeah, as a head coach, there's a foul here with 1:46 to go. You're saying, well, okay, I'm going to let him up a little bit. We've already iced this game, but you're bringing in guys, some of them could start for you.
Absolutely, and that's one of the things that Dusty May told us on Thursday after the opening round win. We asked him about Gaffney, who had a huge game for them, but didn't start that game. And he said, hey, listen, he would start on most teams. Come to find out, he actually started Friday and here in this championship game for Coach May, but that's the level of talent they have up and down this lineup at FAU.
Yeah, Gaffney had one turnover in 33 minutes against Texas A&M, working in their backcourt. Also had 14 points in their victory against Butler. So reserves or starters doesn't seem to make much difference for FAU, as deep as they can go and as talented as they are.
And remember, Virginia Tech did a good job defensively on FAU in the first half, holding to 32 points. But now you look up, they're at 80 and probably still building as this game continues.
Carroll will draw the foul. That was with 7 on the shot clock. So 80-46 as we take a look at today's shot of the game, brought to you by Novavax.
And Brennan Lorient, only one field goal in this game, but he made it count. As he gets out in transition, is able to finish with the majority of his work on the defensive end of the floor today. However, he is our Novavax shot of the game.
And Carroll drops that one in. FAU to sail to a championship here today. They're going to be in a Jimmy B as well. So people around the country getting a chance to see how good the Owls are, just in case you missed their incredible run to the Final Four last spring and their 20-game winning streak, their regular season and tournament championships with Conference USA. They have jumped to the American Athletic Conference along with 5 other schools.
Yes, and you think about that first year in the American, going up against some different competition this year, but I believe this FAU Owl squad is prepared for competition against anyone they'll play against nationally.
Certainly looks like it. Gaffney running the point. Inside the last minute of play for the Owls, and that's going to drop and one. They'll get Young for the foul. 51.8 to go.
Nice drive, nice finish. And if you look at the board now, 84 points, opportunity for 85 right here with Gaines at the line.
Yeah, just about in line with what they've done throughout the tournament. They scored 91 on Butler, 96 against Texas A&M. And so far 84 today. They have been easily the top scoring team here in Orlando.
But this is a 52-point second half after Virginia Tech did a very good job defensively on them in the first half. They got the offense going in the second.
And much to the Hokies fans' dismay, the opening moments of the second half, that was all FAU. They just picked it up and put it into another gear.
Multiple 15-0 plus runs in this game. And it's hard to beat any team when they jump out and are able to take over games and stretches like that. With 2 different occasions, they had a 15 or more run throughout this one.
Well, slow with a miss, and Tuesday 2 featured ACC SEC challenges coming your way at ESPN. We got a dandy for you. Number 10 Miami and number 16 Kentucky. That's at Rupp Arena at 7:30. Then we take you to the Tigers of Clemson and number 17 Alabama. Crimson Tide still rolling and number 17 in the country. And of course, you get all the action on the ESPN app as well. The MVP of this tournament will be FAU's Elijah Martin. 13 against Butler, 25 against Texas A&M, 17 in this one today against the Hokies.
And that's a difficult vote because Johnell Davis was just as good throughout this tournament. But I like the vote to give Martin the most valuable player. It could have been Vlad Golden. It could have been a number of different guys from this FAU team. But you can only pick one as the most valuable player.
They're going to wind up the Hokies with a couple of triples made after a huge drought today. Not nearly enough in the end. FAU sails to the title. They have won the ESPN